Hi Treasures, it's Leonie Dawson. Today I'm wearing something incredibly demure and beige and just a little bit, wallflower behind the scenes. Trying to stay elegant. Got my pearls out. Whatever. Today I'm talking about things to do to stop burnout before it hits. So if you're like me, an excitable motherfucker, or just, a fucking human in the world, you might have experienced burnout where you do so much motherfucking shit that at some point you can't do any more shit anymore and you feel pretty fucking horrific. So you might feel anxiety, you might feel really worn out and depressed and depleted and exhausted. Your body might have kind of like a healing crisis and get sick in some way. You may find yourself really listless, like you've lost all your passion and your joy for life, all that stuff. And that is all part of, all work and no play makes us all burn to the fucking crisp. So, some things to do to prevent burnout, because I've been there and I've done it before and it hurts so bad and it's such a long recovery process. And so if you can get to a point where you don't burn out, that's really just like the best thing for everyone involved. So first and foremost, I think about the economic cost of burnout. So for me, if I really give myself a fucking bad burnout, that's about 3 months where I'm not at peak productivity. And so that would mean a cost of probably, I would say about $200,000 because that's kind of how my business runs and then it's built off me. And so there's actually quite a massive difference if I burn out or not to my bottom line. So anything I can spend under $200,000 is going to be of benefit to me. Now, I realize that's like ridiculously privileged. I fucking get it. But what I'm saying is have a factor in what does burnout end up costing you and costing your family? And what are some things that you can do in advance to prevent that from happening? So some ways that you can exhibit extreme self-care. 1, have fucking fantastic boundaries. Say no to way more shit. Have no work hours. So I know that lots of us have children and you might even have a job and then you might be building something on the side. And then on top of that, 2020 is the year of the fucking pandemic. So that's really fucks with our jam, doesn't it? So there's a lot on our plate. And what we need to do is build in time where we have absolute downtime. So for me, absolute downtime is on weekend afternoons. And on weekend afternoons, you will find me in bed for at least a couple of hours. And I read books and I do e-courses and I nap and I just have a fucking rip-roaring time filling my own well, because if I don't, I burn the fuck out. And yes, I do have children. And so my children are allowed to run amok during that time. Run amok. They build a Minecraft world with their daddy, which is very cute. But they can do whatever, really. They're 6 and they're 10. They have lots of shit to do in the house. And they know Mummy's having downtime. So we build that in. I also have baths and I read books in the bath. Very, very important. What else do I do to stop burnout before it hits? It's really starting to notice where that bad feeling is before it comes, right? You're oh, I'm starting to feel a little bit woo. I'm starting to lower energy. I'm starting to get a sore throat. Sore throat is usually the thing that indicates that I'm burning out. You might have anxiety levels going up. So what are your early warning signs? Where's the little light on your, the fuel indicator that says, nah, you're fucking running out? And when you notice that, how can you really quickly change direction on that and go, you know what, I actually need to make rest a priority. So at a certain point, when I was parenting, I actually would go to bed at 7 o'clock every second day, at least. At one point, I had a baby that didn't sleep at all. And so I went to bed at 6:30 every single fucking night. And I know that and I only had one child, clearly. But It's just the things that you need to do in order to top that well up. And I still make my kids go to bed really early at nighttime. So one, they can have quiet time with themselves, which is so fucking important. And they get enough sleep in, because kids do not get enough sleep these days. They're like, we're missing hours of sleep as our adults. And it allows you to start refilling your well. So in terms of burnout, think of yourself as a well. Burnout is when you get to rock bottom. What you want to do is start building in principles so that you're constantly like measuring where your well is at and topping it up so it never hits rock bottom. I want to send you so much love. I know for so many of us who have kids and are juggling lots of shit, women and carers, we're the ones that burn out most of all and the quickest. And here's the thing, we need to really respect our own energy, our own body, and our own sovereignty, and say, you know what? No, like my inner wellness is critically important. And if I burn out, this whole family's going to suffer. And so whatever you need to do in order to prevent that burnout is hugely and deeply important. I am sending you so much love. And I just remembered as well that I do have a free resource on burnout. If you'd like to go and check it out, it really explains a whole bunch of this, and it gives you an ebook and all kinds of groovy stuff. Make sure you go to leoniedawson.com/free and you will find it in there. All right, my loves. Let me know if you've got any more questions. I'm happy to answer them. I've got more hats.